Why do fan toys seem to sell out so quickly on certain releases, and yet said releases are usually sculpted with either complete and utter praise, where people just blindly ignore some of the facts, or the toy gets completely destroyed by the community, and yet everybody's like, well, but it's fans toys. So today we're going to be taking a look at FansToys FT-32E Hadid. This is their take on Mixmaster, and as you see here, I am on ShowZStore, and I'm actually logged into my actual account so that you guys can see like what I'm seeing. So you can see it says arrival notice. You can see that I did pay my balance in full on June 21st. And the only reason I paid my balance was because of two reasons. One, I saw that a couple toy reviewers were already getting theirs. And I said to myself, oh, I'm usually, my emails usually getting checked on a daily basis. And I hadn't seen a pay your balance notice from ShowZStore. Now, usually that only happens when the item is moving from pre-order to coming soon. And as a result of that, I was like, uh-oh, did I forget to pre-order Mixmaster? And because honestly, like at this point, despite some of my hiccups, some of my dismay for their version of Devastator, I still feel like it's probably going to be the best looking Devastator, even though it's probably not going to be able to pose very well, and it's probably not going to be, from certain angles, it's not going to look great. But anyways, so I rushed over to ShowZStore, and I was like, oh, I did pre-order it. Okay, well, it says it's sold out now. So out of fear, I just paid the balance because it did have a balance, it did have an amount to pay, and I did just pay it so that, hey, I pre-ordered this a long time ago, and here's the money. So I want one. I need to get one. And while I was doing that, I went over and I checked, sold out everywhere, and it's still on pre-order. Like TF has it for pre-order, it's sold out. Chosen Prime has it for pre-order, it's sold out. TF Source has it for pre-order, it's sold out. ShowZStore has it for pre-order and sold out. So the question becomes, why is that? Why is it sold out so quickly? When people have been talking about how every single one of these releases have been terrible. Now, a lot of people, some people in the community don't care. I personally don't care if it's G1 aesthetics or not, as long as I look at it and I know who that character is. That's what I care about. Because I've bought characters that look nothing like G1 or any Transformers. Like, I've bought all those, and it's not. The only difference is the headpiece, and you already got the headpiece, so I don't really know what the point of having Prowl replace Mixmaster. So that'll be a whole nother discussion. But to circle back here to Mixmaster, of course, I've seen all the photos. He's really thin in his combined mode. And I think that comes from the fact that when he was in the G1 cartoon, there was that one frame that he just looked really skinny. And so FansToys, well, that's the look we went with, and that's what they did. And it's just like, we'll look at it here. We'll take a look at it here. It still says date unknown. This is the thing that's bothering me about this. And it says it's available, it's sold out. No estimate release date yet. People have it already. People have had it already. I think it's cool that it actually comes with the drill bits. And he comes with two different faces. He's got his little guns, for the top here. We got this extra piece, which I think is probably for combined mode. And then the robot. And then these are the kind of like the top pieces for the legs so that you can finally combine him. Now, I think they did a somewhat good job with the backpack, considering he's just always going to have a problem. You're always going to have a problem with Mixmaster with the backpack. So it looks fine. The head sculpt looks fine to me. Again, he's going to be in combined mode, so the bot, I don't have that much care for the bot. Like, I'm more looking forward to seeing what X-Transbots does with theirs version, which is ironic because now with this being out, FansToys has literally one more left. They have one more bot to do. They have basically Scavenger to do, right? Or is it? They have one of them to do. So it's like at this point that like they did it. They are the first ones. And honestly, like, I have to go back and look at it. I think they were late to the party. Like, I think X-Transbots was the first one to start doing that. I ended up not being too happy with it, but when I only had two more pieces left, it's like you might as well just get them. You know, and they're not like $500 a piece. They're like $130 a piece. So they're pretty inexpensive when it comes to third party, especially with FansToys being usually over $200+. I think he looks fine in robot mode. I mean, I know a lot of people complain about the details, but again, like I've seen the reviews, but like apparently he has no waist swivel, which from all the photos it looks like that's gonna be true. He has no waist swivel. He has no ankle pivots or any ankle rockers or anything like that because of the way the design of the feet are. It looks like the arms are very limited because of the backpack and just the overall design. Like you're like there, like you like that's just an awkward pose. You know, apparently people are complaining about this piece up here not being right. It looks fine to me. I think it's a little too big. Personally, I think it's a little larger. I think he shouldn't be as tall as Galvatron. I think he should be a little shorter than Galvatron. But again, Sunbow chart, whatever. But yeah, here's the leg mode. The leg mode looks fine. I mean, it looks really skinny. It makes me wonder if it's going to even hold it up. You know, these are some of the official photos from FansToys. We'll just kind of scroll through here. And then here we go. I think it looks fine. And what's really interesting is how all the photos have been somewhat upward looking, because there's this gap right here. There's this gap right here, and I think this is the best looking one. I think at the end, and I know there's I have the Hercules, but the Hercules one is he's more chug scale than actually MP scale, and he finally ended up breaking on me. Some of the pieces broke on him, so he's gonna be forever in their robot modes. I might even combine them into their vehicle modes and display them that way. But I'm still gonna say this, and I've said this before. I still say the best looking G1 aesthetic design and overall working design for a G1 Devastator is going to be New Age Devastator. And I'll tell you right now, if they upscaled that to MP scale, they would win. They would defeat everybody. And just keep it the way it is, like, because the way they did the parts forming on that is what made it so good. And with an MP Devastator, at this point, with parts forming, I would much rather them go, okay, here is the best looking vehicle mode we can do. Here is the best looking robot mode we can do. But how do we do the combined mode? We'll do the combined mode using parts forming. Like at this point, when it comes to any combiner, and that's all again a whole other video topic, I'm just gonna touch on it here, but I do feel like when it comes to, you guys want to look through these, you can head over to ShowZStore.com. I'll have the link to it in the description down below so you guys can check that out. But yeah, guys, I don't know. I'm a little upset that it's sold out, and who knows when I'll get one. I'm hoping it's not one of those things where it ends up I'm hoping it ships after my vacation, so I'm not worried about it showing up at the house, even though it's gonna be like a month to get here. You know, so just the fact that it's going to take over a month and a half, if not longer, to get this when it's released. And no shade, and there's probably like 6 different reviewers that I've seen getting it, and I don't know like where it got released at. You would think ShowZStore, usually they're the first ones to put that out because they're located in China. They're at the source. Like, so it's, I don't know. I don't know what's going on, why FansToys on ShowZStore seems to be the last. They're getting their stock last, it seems. Like, when I went to get Sovereign 2.0, it was sold out on ShowZStore. It was not available. It was sold out. And it still said pre-order. And then I was like, okay. And then I went to Chosen Prime after I checked everybody else, and everybody else was sold out. They had one still available, and I was able to snag it for like $210 or something like that. And I got it within like a week. With even that, because of course they are based in the United States where I'm located, so the shipping time was heaved in half, you know. What do you guys think? Do you guys think there's a problem with FansToys? Do you think there's some kind of distribution center system going on? You know, why is it like why is FansToys like just getting all this hype? Like, I'm starting to like, I was like originally like, I'm not into FansToys because I think they're overpriced, and then I decided to get one, and I think the first one I got was this Devastator because I saw the picture. I was like, oh, that might look really good. And then of course the bot mode wasn't that great. The vehicle mode was okay. I was like, well, it's for combined mode, so I mean it doesn't really matter. And then I have gotten some really good ones. I think Sovereign 2.0 was pretty good, despite the transformation being a little bit hectic. I did buy a couple older figures. I did get Blitzwing when it came out. I do believe I did an unboxing video on that on the channel. I've gotten a couple, like mostly all they're all Devastator, but I've gotten I was able to get Robot Paradise. I was able to find one of those, so I got one of those on eBay and it showed up, and it's a little wonky for my taste, but I got it. What else did I get? Oh, I also did get Astro Train. Again, I think I got Astro Train from, I think it was either Chosen Prime or TF Safari, I can't remember. But yeah, just getting fans toys, they seem, I don't know, it's a whole discussion about, is the community just overhyping them to the point, like, yes, the paint is great, but then they just lack things, like, you know, and I get it. You know, I understand why they're so unpopular with, like, the fandom. Like, their paint is really good. You know, they're usually pretty durable. The ones that I have are pretty durable, but man, I've heard of just some really bad things about certain figures. Like, there's the whole debacle, you know, with Dead End showing up and being like $500, $350. I could have got one, but then I looked at it and I go, well, I'm gonna have to drop like $2,000 to get the other 4. You know what? The DX9's fine. I got the DX9 box set when they released that. I'm good. I got it. I got my Minosaur, even though I would technically prefer to have the vehicles on the front, even though I know that's not accurate, but just having them in the back and hidden just kind of looks stupid to me. But that's a personal nitpick of mine. But yeah, guys, let me know in the comments down below, what do you guys think? Do you think FansToys deserves all this hype? You know, let me know. And as always, guys, check out this video up in the corner, and until next time.